Now, chat, I would like everyone to pay attention for a moment, right? Look at Chaotic Al's name. The C in Chaotic is capital. You see that? And then the other letters in the first word or name are not capital, right? And then now we have a clear indicator between words, right? You got a little dash there, right? Underscore, right? And then the second name, right? Second word, the first letter is capital. What a concept, chat. Imagine, look at the clarity and ease of being able to read it. Chat, I will change it for my next sub. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Don't you tarnish thy name, young man. I know, then you have Kiba there with just all lowercase. The X's are fused with the name. Ridiculous. Kiba, out of curiosity, how long have you had that username? Like, how far back does this go? Alright, let's jump into the event here, which I'm sure will be so enthralling, chat. Since 2019, so about 5 years, right? She can't even look at your name. Look at that, look at that. It pains her to see that name. So, we're not gonna see Perseus in this event, are we? I don't know, maybe at the end, we'll see. Maybe they'll even give us a sprite. Like, they gave us, sprites to several characters before they were added, so it could happen. We'll see. I kind of think if they're going to do Perseus, I would expect it to be more an OC2 than White Day. But I mean, it could be White Day. They've certainly used White Day to add characters that, you know, are part of the main story. Like, I mean, Odysseus, right? Odysseus was in Lost Belt 5, but then he was added in White Day. So, it certainly could be White Day. I just hope that OC2 is good. We could use something cool right now. The thing is, there's just so little hype around the OCs because they're filler and everyone knows it. What the hell? This is a lot of chocolate. Was that a bunch of people that drowned in chocolate? Why is Kale here now? I don't even... I guess it is Valentine's, but... You know, war and stuff, I don't even... What? Also, why is this song so loud? Let me turn that down. Supply ship? Merchant ship? This is not really a combination of characters I would be expecting. It is funny that in quite a few mythologies and religions and such, gods of war and love are either the same or closely related, etc., etc. It's kind of funny. Although honestly, you know, it makes a good story. You know, people like I guess the romantic angle of love causing war, but let's be honest, war is normally caused by like land, food, tyrannical ambition, right? Those are very frequently the causes of war. Like, you have a few examples of love causing war, but not actually that much. It's, yeah, religion. A lot of times though, the religion is an excuse to actually get at, you know, the land or the food or the, like, the stuff to stay alive, right? A lot of times is causing war, especially in the ancient days. Yeah, honestly, I don't think there's a lot of examples of love actually causing war. That's more of like, it's a story thing, right? Like the Trojan War, right? Which, you know, has some inspirations from real life in it, but, you know, it's fantasy, and You see that a lot, where generally behind it, it's actually money or food or, you know, land and that kind of stuff. That's very frequently the real cause behind it all. But that's not very romantic, right? So we don't want to put that in our stories. But what if I love war? You know, unironically, you know, you've got your sundowner type characters out there, but that actually is a thing, right? There actually are people that have enjoyed war throughout time, right? Not that common, but definitely a thing. Anyway, what shall we use here? You know what? Vertra, sure. What Mystic Code? We'll go default. I love how after all this time, there is still only 4 Mystic Codes that ever get used. Now, of course, there's occasionally an exception where you might use like the buff block 1 or even like the 20% battery or something. There's like very occasionally, right? There's a few other ones you might use. Like this gets used occasionally. But man, it is always the same 4. I'd say like 90% of the time. Which that's not what always means, but you know, fuck it. Give war a chance, yep. We call those people crazy. True. It can be really useful though. Yeah, some for farming. A lot of the other ones do get used for farming. There's like the one that gives 10% battery, and then NP gain up. So like you get your NP, and then you have the NP gain up to get the next NP easier, right? Like those can absolutely be useful, but you don't see them too often in like challenge quests or main story fights or any of that kind of thing. But yeah, it's pretty much the same 4. Then every once in a while you use this one or that one. There is like the other Switch Mystic Code, right? That actually has like some side grade use to the normal Switch Mystic Code. It's just so hard to level up. I'm not gonna lie. I think most people that have got that thing maxed just used a third-party, you know, app to auto farm and just brute forced it because it's so awful to get that much XP. And like for example, I'm sitting on like just like 2,000 apples or something, right? So if I wanted to use a third-party app, right, to brute force it, I could do it without spending a penny, right? It's just, one, it's against terms of service, and also I just can't be bothered, but, yeah, a lottery event is definitely a good time to do it if you're gonna do that kind of like brute force, farm spam thing. But I've seen plenty of people, that use those kind of third-party apps, when there's no lottery event going on, and they'll do it to like bond 15 a new character they really like really quickly, stuff like that, you know, or like brute force like a bronze mat, especially the new, like dude, the new, whenever they add a new bronze mat, right? Like Lost Belt, you know, 6 dropped, they had a new bronze mat. I think Lost Belt 7 had a new bronze mat or silver mat, right? And then you get some of the characters, or hell, you get all the new characters that require that mat and said story. You need to farm so many stages now to get the mats for them that most people nowadays are just going to use an app. And I don't condone it, because again, it's against terms of service. So, you know, we here at Green Incorporated would never encourage you to do anything that breaks the terms of service. You can see why people do it though. Like, it's just such a pain in the ass. Do I want to NP here? No, we'll let Leonidas die and then we'll worry about it. Bond is a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah, that depends. It is for some people. I'm proud to have got coup to Bond 15, right? And I didn't do that with no auto farm app or anything like that. But I didn't do it quick, right? I did it over time, and I don't worry about. That was the only character I actually cared about getting Bond on. Like, where I would, if I wasn't using coup actively, I would always put him in the back row. You know, no matter what I was doing, coup got Bond, right? Even if it was like an event where you would get a bonus for certain servants that it might even affect drop rates or whatever, I'd bring coup anyway, right? Just no matter what. But once he got Bond 15, I was like, okay, I don't care anymore. And like like I always say, it's actually kind of crazy that Mordred is like so close to Bond 15, but it just shows how much I use her for farming. Because I'm not really trying to get Mordred Bond, but it's happening anyway. Do I want to NP just these 3? I kind of have to because they're going to get their NPs. My only Bond 15 is Luvia. Yeah, I think a lot of people only have 1, if that. Because it's one thing to like put up with, like I was just saying, you know, bringing coup when it doesn't make sense to bring coup, like in the back row or whatever. It's one thing to do that for a while, but basically having to do that forever just sucks. Well, that's 6 enemies again. That's gonna be a tough. I doubt there's gonna be any divinity in this stage, but you never know. That's probably still her best NP gain combo. Might depend a bit on like overkill and that kind of thing. Like if doing Buster Quick Art gets you overkill way sooner, then that might be better. Buster down. Well, we're gonna have to use my battery now, and I'm gonna use this because I want the NP gain. She does need an NP buff. She's got decent skills and stat line, etc., but yeah, her NP needs a buff. Cool NP though. And it actually has like a sprite, which is shocking. I wish they did that more often when they did giant monsters, like actually drawing a sprite for it. Not the whole thing's not a sprite, but they do have it, like the side angle and all that is a sprite. That's pretty cool. I don't even know why they do it so rarely. There are times where like they'll use CGI and I'm just like, why? Because like it'll be like a door, right? They'd have to draw for 1 frame. And I don't know, maybe they're using like a Unity, you know, store asset or something, and that's why, because then it's no work at all. But I don't know, there's several things in FGO where I'm like, why on earth did you make that CGI? Like, surely drawing it 1 time is not that big of a deal. Well, that was a pretty easy stage. Oh yeah, that's another thing about Mystic Codes. It's cool when they're like the normal XP curve, right? Like, dude, I can't believe they're always making the Mystic Codes have that insane XP curve. So basically, they have 3 XP curves right now. So they had the original XP curve that is on the default one here, and they used it for like Anniversary, Blonde, and several other ones, right? Where it takes a minute. And by the way, this is horrible for new players because a lot of times they don't notice, right? And they think all of them are the same. And normally which one they think they're the same to is the London ones. Because then they added like the Mage Association ones, right? And so they added a bunch of Mage Association ones, and those all have a higher XP curve, right? And that's like Atlas and the Switch Mystic Code, I think, and the Hogwarts one, right? All those. And that one has a higher XP curve that is really slow, right? It's not like the end of the world, but it's pretty damn slow. And then they added another one, right? You've got like the Lost Belt one, and then the second Lost Belt one, and I think you have another one like that, where it's just this, like, it's so arbitrary, right? And it's so like transparent that they're just doing it to try to make you farm forever, right? And it's so blatantly like elongated to the point of absurdity that's like, why would you, like, why? Like, almost no one is going to do it because of that. It's so unfun. But yeah, it's way nicer to have like the original Mystic Code curve because you actually can progress, for God's sakes. Yeah, the new Switch Mystic Code is insane. I mean, it's basically be a whale or use a third-party program, right, to farm for you if you want to get it done in a reasonable amount of time. Like, it's just completely ridiculous. But yeah, it sucks because even if you see the London, that's an attractive face. Even if you have the London XP curve, right? It takes so long to go from like 8 to 9 and 9 to 10 that most people just aren't gonna bother. And if they think like Anniversary Blonde is like that, they're probably not gonna level it, right? Like they see the London ones, and then they hear people talking about the Anniversary Blonde Mysticode in the shop, and they're like, oh. These take so long to level. I'm not gonna bother with that, but it's actually easier, right? It's way easier to do Anniversary Blonde. Very mentally stable woman indeed. A lot of those in this game. Mental health is top priority in Chaldia, clearly. Are we fighting Kale or something? I mean, we're fighting a Berserker, so I don't know what the hell. What shall we use? Sure, he's only in P1, but it's probably a joke stage, so. Unresolved mental trauma is how you get superpowers. Just ask Zero. You're not entirely wrong. What is chat on about? This is not even a boss. These are trash mobs. And look, they're giving me attack down for 5 turns, and you can't remove it. Well, I don't think there's really any point in doing a rainbow chain here. At least they're nice enough to have them drop materials. They're not killing George. Imagine being Berserkers and not killing a level 1 George. And you have more than 3 actions per turn. Right, they have 4 actions here. Ridiculous. Leonidas actually doing damage. Why are there so many rocks in the chocolate? I feel like that has to be kind of a major thing, otherwise they wouldn't do it. The crunch. That reminds me, there's like a, I forget the exact name, but I think it's an Irish like god of death from way back in the day, pre Christian shenanigans. It's like Crunch or something like that. That's definitely not how you say it, but it's some such nonsense like that. And I don't think they've used that in Fate at all. I don't think, but it's a fairly major like a deity there in Irish mythology. If I'm not getting my stuff crossed. Maybe they will at some point, we'll see. I could kill both of these. I guess I might as well. I remember Vandictus used that as a boss. They used a lot of Celtic stuff in general over there. They had Ku's dad as a boss, that was the thing. Why is my Mysticode on a 95 turn cooldown? You know someone's gonna stall just for shits. Someone is gonna make some absurd setup and find a way to stall this for 90 or 100 turns or whatever it is. This player base is unhinged and they'll take anything as a challenge, so. I guess I NP this. Wait, they had an Arthurian horror in the summer event? Like, I remember the metal one. I really didn't pay attention to that part. Oh yeah, just drop a meteor on them. Although I think it's a mountain. Yeah, I do remember there being like a mecha boar in summer 1. That does ring a bell. I mean, they're trying to nerf you here, and I guess, like, if you are a newer player, like, if this is your first event ever, this stage might be interesting, but there's so few people that it's gonna be their first event ever. Like, let's not kid ourselves. Yeah, that I hated Lost Belt 3's gimmick with the Mystic Code. I would have vastly preferred it, just because here's the thing. I never like when they do gimmicks that lower player agency or lower like your decisions, right? If you remove the Mystic Code like that, it just means you have less team building options, less synergies that you can do, right? Less things are viable, and then there's less things to think about because you just have the player skills or the servant skills, right? So I never like when they do that. If you want to make something harder, that's fine. But it's better to make it harder by giving the enemy more HP or giving them an extra bake bar or having an extra gimmick or, you know, stuff like that. I think that's significantly better than, you know, just taking options away from the player, because taking options away from the player is just unfun. You know, it just makes it more like straightforward and autopilot, and there's like a more clear right and wrong answer and that kind of thing, which, not really a fan of. I forget how much battery he's got. It must be 50. Can't say I'm surprised by that. What was OC1? Let's see. I remember a few stages where they did some stuff to nerf you. It's not a good sign for OC1 that I can't remember the boss fights very well. Because, like, I remember Morgan's boss fight decently well, where she gets, like, buff removal, but on attack and after damage right on the final health bar and that kind of stuff. I remember Fluffy fairly well, but I remember Lee right from Lost Belt 3. I remember in Mothman, you know, he's got the buff removal on the break bar and buffs himself up, gets debuff immunity, but if he already has debuffs, they stay, right? That kind of stuff. I remember that. But yeah, I don't really remember. I remember there was a fight with Landling and all that, but I don't remember what the gimmicks were. Wow, do I even remember Kale's gimmicks? Let me think. What did Kale do? Yeah, or Durga and Kale. Let me think. Hold on. Don't tell me, chat. Don't tell me. What did Kale do? I remember decent amount of health bars. I think she healed every turn or something. I remember it being actually a pretty fun fight to solo, where I actually had to think more than normal, but some of that might be because I haven't done it as much as other bosses. Like, I've only done that fight like once. Wow, I don't remember Kale's gimmicks, chat. I really don't. I got nothing. What'd they do to nerf the player throughout OC1? Because yeah, I actually don't remember. Yeah, I remember the healing every turn. I remember that. I remember Durga better than I remember Kale. Even though Kale was supposed to be harder. Actually, didn't they give you like Kama or something to use during the Kale boss fight, and that made it really easy? And I think I just chin gonged her or something. Yeah, wait a minute. Was that the case? Let me look. Yeah, I kind of remember that. Like, Kale actually is harder, but because of Kama, she's easier. Let's see. Paper Moon. Yep. Wow, I did not remember that until chat said something. Yep, there is a forced, you have no choice, you must bring Kama, and yeah, I'm chin gonging her. Huh, yeah, she's an alter ego, she does have heal every turn. I'm gonna have to look at that later though, because I actually don't remember the gimmicks. Chen Gong, what, is Kama your waifu, Kiba? My apologies. Look, it has to be done sometimes. I think I've Chen Gonged about, you know, every type of character under the sun, you know, be it characters I like or don't like, etc. A lot of forced story supports have been needed over time. All right. Berserkers again. Look at this 120 Kiyohime, dude. No copium left. I know that feeling. What to use? Oh, hi, Basculor. Yeah, hold on. Let's see. How big is this Kiyohime? Okay, it's not their favorite. They've got that on Yang. Okay, 2K foe, 120, got level 100 CE, 10 10. Does not have the third passive. Obviously, that's lower priority on Berserkers, but you should still get it. But, you know, coins, they probably don't have it yet. Actually, they might, and they've just forgotten. It wouldn't shock me if they, you know, could get this far and they were out of coins and they haven't gone back to update it. Because it is not, like, that good on Berserkers, but it never hurts. Yeah, pretty almost maxed out, but no faux pas, which I'm surprised by that. Like, they've given out so many faux pas recently. But yeah, 0 faux pas on her, and no third passive. Any other 120s? Okay, Nobu's on the way up. Not 2K foe yet, though, which that's weird that they're on the way to 120. They're not 2K foed yet. No faux pas. Okay, they've got faux pas on Yang here. Yeah, completely maxed. And then, okay, Lolly Dragon, and they're 120 as well. Huh, they've got them. That is so weird. And it's not weird because, like, yeah, they might just like the character, but they're not going for 120. Possible that they're out of coins, right? But I would not expect them to give Tamcat the faux pas over Kiyohime, who they actually have at 120. Truly strange. Oh, you're in chat. Hi there. And she still sucks. That's the worst part. Yeah, I know the feeling. Being a Sanson fan, I'm aware of what it's like to upgrade the shit out of a unit and have them still be terrible. Look, I'm not even a Kiyohime fan, but I've said for years they need to buff her, right? It just makes no sense. She is very close to being like a generic, like, gray box Berserker. That's like the default Berserker, right? Just has like generic Berserker things, no like actual skills or anything like that, right? Now it's not that bad because she does have, you know, damage up here, but it's not great. And yeah, she needs an upgraded NP. She needs like a skill upgrade, and an upgraded NP could go a long way if it's a good one. Like if they give her an upgraded NP and then the put like Buster up on it or something like that, so it's kind of like a double upgrade, that would really help. But it never hurts to have the third passive. When you do happen to fight that class, you know, not getting crit is really handy. But yeah, I'm surprised at the Tamcat, but I guess it's because you consider Tamcat more useful, which, I mean, is Darius is better in almost every way. True, it is true, because he has an upgraded NP. He also has a damage up skill, and then he's got Guts, which is way better than her defense up. And then he has debuff clear, and he even has an okay debuff on his NP. And just the fact that his NP is upgraded, yeah, Darius is a lot better. But she'll probably get buffed someday. I mean, I've been saying that for years, but I mean, she's so popular. It's like, it's weird that she hasn't been buffed yet. But yeah, I've definitely experienced where like I'll upgrade something over Sanson just because I know Sanson is like a lost cause. So I'm like, why bother? Feels bad. Yeah, actually, I have had Darius's debuffs come in handy because I've done setups sometimes where he multi-NPs, so ramping up the defense down's good. And then also, if you have like the attack down from his NP, and maybe you're using Chen Gong, right? Or Mash or whatever, and then you got the defense up, so you have his attack down and the defense up, that makes you quite a bit tankier, right? Especially against the bosses that hit stupid hard. It can actually be pretty noticeable. Yeah, it's not bad. Like, Darius is not top tier either, though. Well, I mean, he is top tier for like the low star, like AoE Berserkers, but that's because their competition's not very fierce, right? Darius is the best, like, low star AoE Berserker for the most part. You know, there's exceptions because Spartacus's battery and things like that. But for the most part, Darius is the best one. But, like, so the best, you know, Berserker of his type, right, is so far behind, for example, like, you know, what Robin Hood is for his type, or Ushi is for her type, or Ku is for his, you know, like, type. So yeah, AoE berserkers for budget need help. I actually think berserkers in general for low stars need help, because so I haven't talked about this in a long time actually, but I've talked about this in the past. Berserkers are bad, like, and I stand by this. Berserker is a bad class, and the reason there are such like OP berserkers is because they have to give them toolkits that are so outrageously busted to compensate for how bad the class is. I mean, it's a terrible class because you are always being counterclassed. That's atrocious, right? That is so atrocious. Like, you are always going to get melted. They are objectively the hardest characters to keep alive in the game by a very significant amount, right? It's like using a Lancer against a Saber. No one does that outside of memeing with like meta shit, right? Like, it's because it's so bad, right? So you die so easily, right? So the dying part is exactly the same as using a Lancer against a Saber, right? So that's horrible. And then, so what's the benefit? Well, you do not even proper counterclass damage, right? You do 1.5 instead of 2.0. So it's like, what? You have such a horrible negative, and then the positive is not even as good as just any other class counterclassing. Like, what the fuck? Right? Like, their negative is so negative, there's no reason for them to like not have proper counterclass, right? And then they made it even worse, because then they started adding a bunch of classes that they don't counterclass, right? So they don't even get the 1.5, right? So it's like, what the shit? And so it's just a really shitty class that, like, if you're fighting a Saber, you are so much better off using an Archer than a Berserker, right? Now, there are Berserkers that are amazing and will make, like, the game, you know, a lot easier for you, but it's not because they're really a Berserker. It's because they have a way overtuned toolkit that is designed to compensate for how dumb the Berserker class is, right? You know, units like Gajuna, Morgan, Hercules, right? That kind of stuff. They're Kualther, right? They made their toolkit so good that they're able to synergize with the one benefit of Berserker, where, like, you know, they're applicable often, right? And they have toolkits that like offset the problems or can win so fast it's not a problem anymore, right? So it's possible for Berserkers to be good, but that anyone can be good when you give them a toolkit that's overtuned like that, right? That doesn't make the class good. And this is kind of what I'm getting at. So you can make an Archer that's overtuned, like maybe Super Orion or Gilgamesh, or, you know, whatever you want to consider the best archers. But you know, you could make an Archer that is just outrageously overtuned, right? You could do that. But the other archers that aren't overtuned are still good, right? It's really important, right? Because the Archer class just works inherently, right? It's just going to be good against Sabers, right? And like pretty much no matter what. Berserkers aren't like that. So if you're a normal Archer, you're still really good, just because of the way the class is. Same for Assassin, Lancer, right? You know, Ruler, things like, a lot of the classes are really good. In the right, like, they have a really clear time that they're good. And Ruler's actually pretty good pretty often these days. But Berserker's not like that. If you're not one of those super overtuned Berserkers, right? If you are Darius or Ki, you're just shit, man. Right? They die so easy. They don't do nearly enough damage. If it's only a single class you're fighting or two classes you're fighting, you're just way better off using the proper counter class instead of the kind of pseudo counter class that a Berserker is. And I would say, so for example, if Darius just magically turned into a Lancer, he would still be blech, because his toolkit is, although better than Kiyohime's, it's not that great. I mean, it's a damage up, and vanilla guts, vanilla debuff clear, and vanilla NP gain up, and then an upgraded AoE NP. Like, yeah, if he was a Lancer or a Saber or whatever, I wouldn't say he's awful. I'd be like, yeah, this is usable, but I'd be like, it's nothing special, right? This isn't going to be like top tier for the low stars, right? And then you make him a Berserker, and although he's useful in the case that you might need the Berserker class because you're fighting maybe an Avenger and you don't have a proper way, there's no 3-star Moon Cancer, right? So he might be your only option, like it or not, right? He might be all you got, but that's so much worse than if, like, what you need to use, like, all you've got is Ushi or Ku or something, right? Like, if those are so much better in like their context, and that's true for all low star Berserkers. I would say probably the best low star Berserker in the entire game. I mean, for farming, it might be like Spartacus, But honestly, it might be Mori, just because he does get peak value better than Lu Bu. And like the single target berserkers really just aren't that great. And there's so few for low stars. Yeah, I would say actually the best low star berserker is probably Mori. And he is not anything special. Like, I mean, he's solid. But, yeah, berserkers really need help for low stars. They're kind of a shit show. Yeah, Eric. Oh, man, Eric needs a buff. Funnily enough, if you turn Mori into a caster, he actually would be somewhat useful, but he still has an unupgraded NP. Hold on, chat. I need to get water. I always forget to get water before I start streaming. I don't know why. Then I start talking. And for water, obviously. And you want to know, chat, another unit that really needs a buff because they can't really fulfill the role that they're designed to fill for low stars is Antonio. He's better than he was, but man, he is such a flawed unit because this really gets to me because they don't add low stars very often, right? So when they have like really big flaws like this in like the roster, it causes problems for a very long period of time. And generally unnecessarily so, and it just gets really frustrating. So the thing about Antonio, right, is he has pretty good single target damage with like his normal cards, and then pretty bad single target damage with his NP because it's AoE, and then he has horrible survivability because he has no survivability, and low HP. Now you might say, well, there's pros and cons there, you know, you can make this work. But here's the thing. Look at like Ku, right? And this is kind of bad game design, to be honest, but this is the boat we're in now. And also they design enemy content with this in mind, I would say. Ku has good offense because he has an upgraded NP. He has an abnormally high attack stat. He has, you know, an attack up on his first skill, right? So we got plenty of offense here. And then he has 2 survivability skills on a really low cooldown, right? And then debuff clear. And then he's got a really good stat line. So there's no flaw here. Right, and then same for like Ushi, right? Like Ushi is such a good example of being like so much better at her job than what like Antonio needs to do for his job, because his job's killing rulers, right? Her job is killing casters, right? She is so much better at it than him because she's got Star Bomb, she's got normal card damage up with crit up and attack up, right? So she's got the normal card damage that Antonio does, right? She's got that, and then she's got survivability because she's got an evade. She gets her NP nice and easily. She even buffs her teammates with this stuff, and then she has an upgraded NP, right, where he's unupgraded and AoE, right? So his ability to kill a ruler is pretty dog shit, right, in comparison to Ushi's ability to kill a caster or a berserker even, or Ku's ability to kill an archer, etc., right? He's so far behind. And you might say, well, that's not fair because he's AoE. Yeah, but we don't have a single target Avenger for low stars, right? Like we don't have one. Right, so if there's an annoying ruler boss, it's either him or a berserker, right? And again, we've already gone over why the berserkers are a problem. Yeah, so I've said this about Baldi since day one. Shonen, or however you say his name, Inchuin. Where's he at? Like I literally was saying this the day he was added. Now, when he was added to the game, I instantly liked him, right? Like, I'm biased in his favor. I think people had the idea that I was biased against him, but I was actually biased in this guy's favor immediately because I like Lancers. I just like Lancers, right? I like Ku and Diarmid and, you know, Romulus and stuff. Hector. So I like this guy immediately. You know, I love Lancers. They're just like, it's my favorite class. And, you know, I love the mask and all that. And his voice actor's awesome. Like, I really like Baldy, right? He's awesome. But I immediately was like, man, this toolkit is just so, you know, it's cool, right? But it's so meh. Like, first off, his skills are just not that high impact on their own. And it was hilarious listening to people day one try to act like these skills are just so good. But, like, they don't act like his star gen up doesn't actually translate to that many stars, right? He doesn't, thankfully, he can make good stars regardless. But it's like, it doesn't really matter that much. You know, the seal doesn't matter that much. Enemies, you don't actually need sure hit on all that often. So it's just really often his skills are very low impact. And then, you know, his NP can be good, but it's just, everything is so random with him. Like, you need the deck to shuffle good. You need the stars to go to the right cards. And then when the stars do go there, you need to actually crit with it. So you need to be able to get the NP gain, like, to maintain the buffs. And then after getting the buffs, then the deck needs to shuffle where you can now do damage. Because I think we've all used units like Baldy, where you NP, and then the next turn, you don't have any fucking cards. Right? And then, like, the turn you need to NP, you don't have any cards. Right? Or you have, like, one card, and you end up missing the damage window, and it just gets all fucked up. You know, it's just super annoying, right? Like, where other units just do the damage with the NP, so they don't have to deal with that. And, like, yeah, if you get lucky, he's still pretty good. You know, he's been power crept, I would say, at this point. I don't know if power creep's the right way of putting it. He's just been passed up, right? He really struggled to do anything when he released, and it's even harder now because the other Lancers are better, and the bosses are harder. And he never really accomplished much, even in his heyday when he first came out, when he was at his best. He never really was able to pull that much off. Yeah, I really hope he gets buffed. Like, I've always wanted to use him more actively when I do, like, low stars and stuff, but he just never works, like, at all. And, like, here's a good example. You know, she's new, and she's already viable, right? She just dropped into the game, and she already can compete. She's not, like, you know, blowing Robin Hood out of the water by any means, but she's totally viable, right? Baldy is not that. I wish he was, but... yeah, Saber, Gilles de Reyes is in the exact same boat. I guess he deserves support even more, though, because he's been in the game since day one. But yeah, he's in the exact same boat. He's a bit more straightforward gameplay-wise, so he's actually easier to fix. But, you know, if they're actually going to bother, we'll see. And here's another good unit they added, right? Just instantly better than a lot of the old units. He's not perfect, but he's in pretty good shape, I would say. You know what? I'm gonna use Ku. I don't even know what this unit is, but it'll probably be a pain. I was really surprised when... wow, it's just Kale. I don't know why they're even bothering hiding that, because she was in the story and all that, and she's already a playable unit and stuff, so... but, like, Gilles de Reyes is not getting anything, animation update, buff, anything during OC1 was actually really surprising to me. Because of that, though, now I'm not surprised by anything when it comes to them being lazy and crap. I'm still annoyed by it, but I'm not surprised. Why did I just do so much damage? Oh, I see. Kale gives you, like, a damage plus here. Do you have attack down? But yeah, you get damage plus. Also, the Berserkers, and Ku has anti-Berserker. Oh, he still has the... excuse me. How does he still have this? That's ridiculous. Like, we buff stacked him a while ago with this. Got outrageous damage out of it. I don't know why he still has that. Yeah, I guess that's not Kale. That's just the 20th year anniversary still going. It's permanent. Can you imagine, dude, how silly that would be? Ku is just forever. And that wouldn't be just Ku, it'd be like Artoria and stuff, too. Like, Artoria would be such a monster's farming unit at that point. That is actually wild, because if we didn't have the attack down, I'd be doing even more damage than that. Yeah, Medea would be like, I'm not even, she might still suck. We'll actually look if she still has the buff. We'll take a peek here. But yeah, she might actually still suck. Crit Medea, probably better than NP Medea. Wow, there's 4 waves. We're gonna be here for a minute. She should kill everything. I'm actually so curious as to what her gimmicks were as a boss, because I have just forgotten. Boss fight, perhaps? Mini boss? Not really. I mean, I guess that's kind of a mini boss, but let's see how much damage Q does here. We don't have the attack down anymore, and we still got the anniversary bonus. See what we get. He's definitely gonna do 100,000. A whole 100,000. Wait, why is she in ping first? What the fuck? Is this some kind of gimmick? It literally had her NP out of order. Either that or I just misclicked. What the hell, game? That's a boss for an account that just started today. True. Although they give you this Kale as a 4-story support, so. You pressed hers first? Did I really? I swear I clicked Q's there. Old and senile, chat. I was like, is this one of those things like when Veach or Herbertrot, and what's the other one? Nemo, like NPs during Ort, right? They like shove themselves to the front of the line. Okay, yep, I'm just crazy. Wow. By the way, there's no like event CE or any of that, right? It's just the Fate Stay Night anniversary. That is crazy. That was his buff and then the Mysticode buff. And like that wasn't even maximum his buff, right? Because he's at full HP, so it doesn't buff him as much. Yep, mentally stable. Good to get these. I don't have that many of them. What I really need is hero proofs right now, though. That's been rough. I figure that buff is gonna wear off like any day now, though. I don't think it'll even last the entire event. Like, they're not gonna let you do the challenge quest with that. That'd be ridiculous. We'll see what the... Oh, there she goes. But we'll see what the challenge quest is. Could be her. They do that sometimes. But not always. So Kale showed up with some weird boat and then just instantly died. Anabashi, thank you for the 67 months. That is an outrageous amount of time. Do you think we get Tesla Fest and JP like a rerun? Not very likely. That'd be cool. I'd be very happy if we got that again, but they don't do a lot of reruns. And they did like a poll right, for what people wanted reran, and everyone was voting for our arcade collab, which we, you know, is not even old, but they're just doing it because they want another Nero rate up, because Nasu said he doesn't want to rate. I can't remember what he said exactly, but Nasu, like during like that interview or whatever, basically said he doesn't want to rate up Nero because she's special or something. So the player base is like, well, they'll have to rate it up if we do this event again. You know, real healthy community stuff going on here. I know Morgan gets so many rate ups. It's unbelievable how many rate ups she's gotten. Yeah, they've been pretty transparent with how like greedy they've been with a lot of this stuff. Okay, we need 250,000. Oh wait, don't I have 270,000? Normally the point part goes away when you meet the criteria. Maybe you need a certain amount of the other mats or something. Yeah, normally it just switches to the date once you've met the point requirement, but it seems like I've met the point. Like, look, it's the checkbox isn't checked, saying I need 250,000, but I've got 270,000. And I wonder if it's this. Like, there's something else that needs to be done. I mean, they didn't give me any new free quests. I could do the quests I haven't done yet, but I can't imagine that mattering. Yeah, the time lock is gonna stay, obviously. I also like how we're not like getting anything right every day. It's just the exact same thing. Like there's no. Although I'd rather have like a decent farming stage day one than not, for sure. Like no complaints there, but you could have, you know, with other farming stages and stuff. I guess I'll just do these two for shits and giggles. It costs way too much AP though. I mean, fucking 30 AP for a bronze apple. Yeah, that math makes sense. Guess I'll summon somebody with a drop rate or point boost. Guys, I think Edmund can solo this. I think he's got it. I don't really need to NP this, I suppose. Although, Scatty's totally gonna... Yeah, I figured. Oh, time locks. I don't mind time locks if they're, like, reasonable, and then, like, the content within each time lock is worth... So here's an example. No one really complained about the time locks in CCC. Because every day... there was new farming missions that were like you had to farm different stages than the day prior, and there was a new major boss fight or two, right, every day, and wanted quests, right? So it was fine. You had a pretty like healthy dose of content every day. By the way, it really is ridiculous looking at the CCC event in comparison to events in the last like year and a half, even 2 years. Right, like just how much worse they are now in terms of like content, right? Like you don't have to like the CCC event. You might not like the boss fights or the theme or whatever, and that you don't mean like mission events. That's totally fine. But if you just look at the amount of content per day, right? Like the amount of main story that was added every day, the amount of the wanted quests on the side that are available every day, and the free quests that were available every day. Right, and also just the amount of new units added into the event itself. Also, fuck, didn't it do animation updates? Didn't Tamcat and Robin Hood get their animation updates in CCC? Right, so I mean, it just blows the events now out of the water. And it's not just that one. I mean, a lot of the older events would do stuff, right? You got content, right? There were things to do. And yeah, they added, like, didn't they add BB, Kiara, Passionate Melt, right? So they added 4 units, which admittedly is more than normal, even for the olden days. And then they did some animation updates. And I think the animation updated Nero Bride right before the event, but it was pretty much for the event. It was like the pre-event thing, right? So you, in that time frame, you got like 3 animation updates. Oh, Suzuka, did she really come with CCC? I guess that's right. So you're looking at about 5 characters, right? 3 or so animation updates, and then lots of boss fights. I mean, lots of boss fights, and especially at the time, right? Like Passion Lip was a real boss fight in the main story. So was Melt. When you fought what's his name? Emiya Alter, Demia, if you will. Those were real boss fights, and then you had Kiara at the end and all that. Right? So it was just packed with content. And we just don't get anything like that anymore. Like, we don't get I mean, look at the collab event we just had. I mean, it just was nothing. Just absolutely nothing. Right? Just easy main story stage after easy main story stage every day. Like a new free quest every day. And that was it. It was the whole event. Right? And then 1 challenge quest at the end. And it was an okay challenge quest, I guess. But, that was it. That was it. Right? Like, what a just shit show. Right? And that's with, like, Fate Samurai, I'm pretty sure is more popular and sold better than CCC did. I have to check to be sure, but I suspect that's the case. Yeah, it's just very silly. The whole thing is very silly. Yeah, they've really phoned in the events these days. Oh yeah, then the rerun added that whole side campaign. You had all those shadow fights, which those were kind of a pain. Let's be honest, those were kind of a pain in the ass. They weren't like full-on challenge quests, but they were like annoying. But then they added the King Protea fight, which actually I think is a really fun boss fight. Now it's kind of gimmicky. I don't replay it very often, even though I've got it on the account. I don't replay it very often because it's a lot like an advanced quest. Once you figured it out, it's got kind of limited replayability. Also, it's just slow. Like if you want to test out the unit's damage at the end, do a big punch, see how hard you can hit the boss. You have to go through, what is it, 20 turns or something? Right, so it isn't maybe the most replayable, but it was still pretty fun when it came out, and it was pretty hard to figure out for a lot of people, and it was unique and everything, so that was quite nice. Yeah, CCC, I don't even really like the game that much, like the setting and stuff, but the event was done really well. But fuck yeah, we don't get that anymore. I think Case Files was done decently well. The problem with Case Files was it was just a little too easy. They had like a decent amount of bosses at it every day and that kind of thing, but most of them were just like laughably easy. Hi, Cairo. Cairo was doing a fruit tier list earlier. We're gonna have to do that at some point now, so we can compare. Kind of like trumpety music here, so it kind of works with the GG dude. Every time I see that emote, I think of the tooting bubble guys in Elden Ring that are sitting there blowing their horns, like ushering in the new era, etc., etc. Okay, so why was that actually the objective, chat? Did it actually want me to do this free quest specifically? Because now the thing's gone, and this thing is checked now. I don't even understand, because this free quest has been available since day 1, and I just now beat it. So that was actually the thing preventing us from moving on. Now it's obviously time gated, so I still can't move on. But just any free quest. So they're just like trying to make you do a free quest to just make sure you're farming. Gotta eat up that AP there. I guess we'll do this one here while we're at it, and then maybe go do a couple of advanced quests or something. I'll do the zombie one. Try not to catch brain rot. But yeah, Cairo, this event is exactly what you think it is. Actually, it's worse. It's actually slightly like less effort than normal. I'll show it when we're done with this free quest. If anything, this is actually kind of a new standard of low effort. I was just talking about how, like, the CCC event back in the day added 5 new units, 3 animation updates, multiple main story major boss fights every day, the wanted boss fights on the side every day, new farming stages every day, right? And then now the events are like 1, maybe 2 new servants, which I will say this, that's not that big of a deal. I don't think every event needs to go out of its way to add a bunch of new characters if there's no reason to. Now, that being said, as long as Agravain's not playable, and Shambhala, the endless line of canonical servants that are not playable, right? Then you should still be adding those, right? Like, you have no reason to be like, oh, we got no new characters to add. Let's not force it, guys. You don't need to force it. You need to actually, add in the goddamn characters that, all these people are waiting on, for God's sakes. So yeah, but once you get to the point where there are no NPCs and stuff, I don't really care if they do an event that has no new character. That's really not a problem to me, because if the artists and stuff and the writers aren't inspired that second, I don't want them to shovel out some, waifu of the month character, right? If they're not inspired, don't force it, right? And that's why I'd like the game to monetize in other areas, but yeah, an event can be fun without new characters, like, absolutely. But when you don't add new characters, that's a really good time to do animation updates, or add a costume, right? Stuff like that to keep people, entertained or interested. It is kind of strange to me Agravain has not been added. They've had plenty of opportunities to do it, and they even talked about in the past that they wanted to do it, and they just didn't. But yeah, let me show this event here. Really is something. Wow, this takes a minute. Okay, so normally you've got like a chunk of free quests at the start, and then every day more free quests are added. This event doesn't work that way, right? See these free quests right here? These were all here day 1, and none of this has changed, right? So day 1, like we had down to here, and it's been like that the entire time. Now, don't get me wrong, that's kind of better than like starting off with these 4, and then every day you add 1 of these, and you just can't do a decent stage forever. But this is the entire event right here. You can tell there's gonna be a challenge quest, I'm sure. But this is it. Like, this is it, right? And you can literally see these, even though they're not unlocked yet. You can see they're right there. That's the entire event. Nothing's changing or being added. And then there's just a little bit of main story every day, which is super, super easy, content, really boring, etc., etc. And that's it. That's the event, right? This is like the least effort I've ever seen them put into an event. I don't think I can get any lazier than this, really. Grab these, though. All right, let's go fight some zombies. Oh, yeah, I guess I'm just stockpiling those now because Kojiro's done. Although, I just realized I never 2K-fo'd Arthur or like Enkidu. Those are the 2 that I'm kind of wanting to get to 100 next. Great game. How many do I have? I mean, I should wait a bit, just see what gets added in OC2. See if maybe by some miracle they do something related to Camelot in the next 6 months. You never know. I mean, maybe I should wait until the finale to do anything. Like, start stockpiling grails, stockpile my foe items, and then see if the finale does anything special, like adding Guadia or something. Wait, who? Which event was that? When you throw a random, like, waifu of the month name at me, it's not gonna ring a lot of bells. Space Australia. Oh, yeah. That existed. I don't even remember the event. I know what character you're talking about now. I don't even remember the event. And I actually forgot she was in the game until you said that just now. I completely forgot. I like how that's the first Australian character we got, and it was just the lowest effort of all time. But yeah, I couldn't tell you if I thought the event was lazier or not because I don't even remember the event. Which doesn't bode well for it. Alright, well we want to bring Asclepius because there's a passive in this stage that if you have a doctor on the team, be it front row or back row, every few turns you remove one of the infection stacks, which turns you into a zombie. That's really useful. Weren't the enemies riders, right? It's like riders, archers, and then the boss is an avenger, I think. Sanson does count as a doctor, actually, in this stage. I guess I could bring him. Alright, fine. Chat, do you remember in the olden days, I used to incorporate Sanson pretty often into my videos? It's kind of rare now. It's because the content's harder, so it's harder to meme. Right? I also use Billy less. Have you noticed that? Like, I used to use Billy even if Robin was better, because Billy was still good enough. But sometimes now he's not good enough. So, yeah, it sucks, man. Although, like that last challenge quest, I could have done Billy. I just used Robin because I kind of wanted to show off my level 90 Robin because I hadn't used him. But you could use Billy there. Billy's worse, by the way. He takes longer, but... Sanson is a meme? Yeah, a little bit. Alright, let's use Gray. Oh yeah, doesn't she have anti-undead? I wasn't even thinking about that. That's like her shtick, right? Like exorcising the demons or whatever. That's like her whole thing. So maybe the Avenger guy is undead and she can at least do some damage. That could be cool. You're still able to get by with Sumo on Ku instead of his best CE. I wish I had a face cam right now. There are not words. All I can do is roll my fucking eyes. Anyway, give her the proper craft essence here. Although I might want starting NP. We'll see. If I remember correctly, that the whole thing is you don't want the zombies to touch you, so you need to kill them very efficiently. Use a Rosh to clear wave 1, if that's a thing. I've thought about getting a cam just because I'm a pretty expressive person with my face and stuff, right? I'm not like shy or anything, but I figure at the problem is at this point, I've gone so long being a voice in the sky that everyone kind of has a vague idea of what goes with my voice, and no matter what I look like, I will never match what is in their head, right? And that it's the shell shock is probably not worth it, right? The voice of God. Yeah. So weird sounding God. The flying green phase. You know, I could do that. You make like a, you know, just a literal green face that does lip flap, right? And you don't do anything else. Like, guys, it's a face cam, guys. More like a voice that says "God damn it" a lot. True. Am I really gonna Arash here? I don't see a lot of reason not to. I could Spartacus as well. Be the classic. Where is Spartacus? There he is. And then you replace with maybe a Berserker or someone else that AoEs. Trying to think how soon I need to be able to deal with the Avenger. Chat, who do we want to use? I can do Beowulf because that's cool. But we could go full budgety, like keep it welfares and low stars and that kind of thing. I would love a version of that Kirby emote that was green Kirby. Caligula. Columbus would be bad. What are you chasing? Like what? AoE 1-star. An AoE 1-star saber against a fucking, you know, decently high HP Avenger, right? Like, are you fucking kidding me? That would never work. All right, we'll try Caligula. It'll be kind of hard because I don't know how the hell I'm gonna enable crits. Let me give him buff success chance or something. We can test out how hard it is to do command codes here. Why? Chat. The disabled. The only good idea they ever had for advanced quests, I'm assuming. Why? Someone translate this. Holy shit. You know what? I'll do it. I'll screenshot it here and let me, what the fuck, dude? I accidentally just turned chat versus FGO on, but I turned it off already, so don't even try chat. And like, advanced quests are like very much so when you would want to take advantage of this. Right? Like I cannot stress that enough. Yeah, it's definitely a bra moment. Okay, hold on. Let me bust out the old Google Translate. I could send it to one of the people I know that speaks Japanese, but I'm too lazy to do that. All right. According to Google Translate, it says while editing a party, you cannot strengthen it. Command cart upon ascension, even if you change pattern. But isn't that the whole point? I don't understand. Somebody please send this to Cairo, like on his Discord right now. Please someone just ping him with this. I don't understand. They added this system so specifically you could, you know, strengthen servants while making a team. So why is it saying you can't? I don't understand. Why is this? What is going on? I do not what the fuck? I swear to God, if I click this and now I can do it, I'm going to be so, that is so stupid. That is even dumber. That is even dumber. Chat, I've been saying this for years. Why does that system exist? Why is there 2 team screens? Why is there 2 team screens? Why do you have to go like, and that one doesn't even always pop up. It makes no sense. That's been in the game since day 1 for no reason, and they've never gotten rid of it. It's just like this other team screen that has less options, right? You can't click any of these buttons. I have never understood why that fucking thing exists. Oh my god, that's even dumber, right? Because no one, it's so counterintuitive. It's so fucking obtuse, right? The game is literally telling you you can't strengthen servants while you're changing the team. But oh, if you switch to the other team screen, then you can. Which you're probably not even going to notice, because why would you? Oh my god. And then someone is going to act like, you know, we're just greedy, chat. We're just asking for too much. Chat, from $1 billion company, it's just asking for too much for a functional UI that actually makes sense and doesn't waste your time. I just can't. This fucking game, dude. Unfucking believable. And like, why are there 2 buttons there? Like, what the like, one of them is gonna work. Oh, it's the other one is gonna be faux pause. Oh my god. Chat knows. I really do wish that copy paste had the extra bits though. The extra bit was so, like, after that was so funny. Where they're like, it's not even worth, the few problems with the game aren't even worth bringing up because they're just that minor. Just like, oh my god. Anyway. So we want buff success chance on something here. Which is the landling mask. It's starting to get really hard to remember what's what with how many command codes there are. Like, the bloat is insane. Can you put command codes in the bank? Because I might have to start doing that for the ones that are just, you know, so niche. Now we're fighting zombies. Oh, the music's looping. There is an anti-undead command code, but I don't think it's like that good. The thing is, I've said this many times over the years. Cairo said this many times over the years. There's really no one left that everyone left playing FGO is either like Cairo, where they barely play and they just dip in when there's new main story or the occasional event that's actually worth the shit, right? Like sane people. You know, or they're just a super, you know, team PlayStation, except it's team FGO people, right? That's pretty much all that's left at this point, especially on the English side of things. So it's a lot of coping. I'm here to watch the ships sink. Yeah, there's some of that. I guess we just go with crit damage. That's pretty reliable with Caligula. Oh my god, it is getting so hard to find anything. Like, just the amount of pictures. Now I got, like, Musashi's dumb face smiling at me like an idiot. You're about to go into the void and you're too dumb to know it. Alright, let's see here. There's, I want to say there's, like, a defense buff spam in this stage. I kind of have a memory that the boss starts spamming defense up. It's either that or he starts spamming, like, attack down or something. But yeah, I think he spams defense up at the end. Chat, imagine, so we got someone that wants Antoinette Altar, right? So now imagine they add Antoinette Altar and then they also add, like, a replayable roguelike that's not shallow garbage. Like, what's that other game mode? Air quotes game mode. Why have I already? It's so shit. That stupid turn-based mode. That's like so bad. I'm thinking they're a board game. Railfront. That's the one, right? Not like that, right? That is such shallow garbage, right? So imagine they add a roguelike. Oh my god, though, they would totally. If they did a roguelike, they would do it in the Grailfront format. They would totally do that, and I would just. Dude, the Grailfront combat system is so inferior to just the vanilla combat system. Like, the Grailfront stuff is infinitely less fun than, like, a proper challenge quest, right? Like, it's so bad. So if they, I swear, if they did a roguelike in the Grailfront format, I would just, oh my god, I would just rage. And I'm so close to just, like, throwing this game out the fucking window, but, I mean, I'm always gonna keep up with the main story. Well, maybe not always, it depends on, I guess, how far down it goes, but I plan on always keeping up with the main story at least. This game, it does make me disappointed. I don't even know if disappointed is the right word anymore because I kind of expect failure at this point. I don't know what else to go with here. Maybe another defense removal. It's not a terrible idea considering how this stage is. This is such a good command code. What do you think of super recollection quests? I mean, they're mostly dog shit. They're just like, hey, let's take that stage and not do any handcrafted, nuanced changes to make it a better stage. Let's just throw 3 million HP on it. Boy, that's a good way to make gameplay. Oh yeah, and also boost the enemy's attack stat a bunch. Like, by pure coincidence, right? By pure coincidence, a few of the super recollection quests are made much better by just boosting their stats like that, because that was like the problem with them in the first place. Like, so example is Minotaur and like maybe Mothman. Those were actually pretty balanced and still pretty fun, because really the only problem they had was their stats were too low in the first place, right? So that was okay. But almost every other super recollection quest boils down to this exact same thing, especially when you're not being super meta, right? Like I did almost every single one of those in the exact same way with more free-to-play setups, where I just stalled. Like, it was always stuff like Mash David Hans or like Mash David Asclepius, and some of them took like 60 turns, because it's not even possible for most of them. There's some exceptions, but for the most part, it was not possible to do them with reasonable RNG and in a reasonable time frame with like very free-to-play stuff. Now, I wasn't using a lot of like welfare stuff, or really if any. If you incorporated more welfare stuff, you might be able to do it. But like, so you couldn't go. You had to play the long game. You always had to maximize survivability and just stall. And it was just horrible. Oh my god. Like, some of those took so many turns. I mean, just so many turns. Like, I remember Antonio took like 60 turns to do it with low stars. I was so annoyed at the end of that. And the thing was, every single one of them was like that, because their gimmicks it got to the point where like their gimmicks didn't matter, because they were so much less impactful than just the amount of stats that they had, right? Their attack stat was so high. If you didn't have a bunch of defense up and stuff, you get one shot. And they had so much HP, the fight would go on for so many turns. You know, you had to focus on living and not killing. The only way you could kill them like faster is if you're bringing a bunch of meta stuff, right? And if you don't have that stuff, then you're just screwed. Yeah, they're really bad boss fights. I mean, they're literally just lazy. You know, instead of adding like handcrafted new gimmicks, or even handcrafted tweaking the stats to what makes sense, right? Like, so for example, the Antonio boss fight in Lost Belt 1 originally, it needs more stats. It does. It didn't have it. The boss had interesting gimmicks in Lost Belt 1, but Antonio's HP was so low, you didn't have to respect the gimmicks at all, and the fight was over before it even mattered. But then the super recollection quest is the opposite of that, where the fight goes on so long, the gimmicks don't matter at all, because they just wear off and are gone, and it's irrelevant, and you're just sitting there dealing with an overstated Avenger for a really long time, right? So, you know, they should have come up with a middle ground there. And yeah, they could have added stats to Antonio to make the fight more interesting, but not that many stats, like Jesus. And then if you want to make the fight harder, especially for the meta people, then add a new gimmick to the fight you need to like think about, right? But yeah, super recollection quests, I don't actually see a lot of people that like them. The only people I really see that like them are like the people that want to show off their meta stuff, right? Most people were like, yeah, these are really lazy, and they just added, you know, 3 million, 4 million HP on a boss and called it a day. Like, that's not fun. It's not fun at all. I think Anniversary Gwaine was way better. That was a way better way to boost a boss's stats. Because like, it wasn't Gwaine with 6 million HP, right? Now, Anniversary Gwaine now would be kind of too easy still, just because of power creep, I suspect. Even for low stars. But for when he was added, he was really good. But yeah, nowadays he probably wouldn't be good enough. Like now you need to add like a break bar, right? You wouldn't even need to add that much HP, but like, yeah, he would need another break bar, and then something happens on that break bar or something like that. All right. Anyway. Although, you know what? If I was going to add command codes to someone, like the heal, it'd make more sense on Gray. At least I can do it from this menu now. I mean, this is still pretty annoying and a lot of loading, and this is not smooth, but it is better than what it was. I think that's hard to refute. I'm not having to back out through 40 fucking menus. Because those had to load too. That's the thing. It's annoying that these have to load and stuff, because, you know, the game's not optimized and they don't have like the other menu up in the background. So that is annoying, and there's a lot of issues like that. But this is still faster, right? This is still faster because those other menus were unoptimized and had to load and stuff as well. So this is definitely better. I don't even, did they buff the baby Karen fight? I can't really remember that. I guess that does kind of sound familiar. What was that fight? Did I make a video for that? Because I'm kind of curious if that was any good or not. I only like vaguely remember that. It is so hard to set up like budgety teams or anything like that when I'm streaming, because you basically need to stop talking and really like think about a lot of little details and stuff. Oh yeah, Spartacus can NP with a 50% and then damage up CE now. Quite good. You didn't make a video, but we did some solos on stream. Damn, that sucks I didn't do any videos though. Just because it's a good way to remember, like, what the hell was this? Oh yeah, I kind of remember that now. Wasn't it actually pretty hard to solo though? Like, didn't you need to be a pretty big boy unit? Like you had to be pretty strong. I think I kind of remember it was actually pretty tough. Like, you needed to be a either like a really applicable unit in terms of class and like niches, or just like a really, really good unit like Kama or something. Man, I got a lot of clutter I need to get out of my inventory here. Got way too many bond CEs in here that I'm never gonna use. Like these fucking event CEs that are useless. I don't know why I'm using this. It never works out, but we'll see. Oh, the fact I'm using Sanson right now. Watch me lose because of this. Let me at least give Sanson defense removal. I wonder if the boss is considered humanoid. Let's not risk it. Oh, Sanson's bond CE. Why in God's name is this a thing? I just... absolute insanity. This game just cannot do anything right, dude. Let's see what, there are so many defense removal command codes, but I'm forgetting almost all of them. It's one of the most I'm gonna have to look this up. It's one of the most common effects. I remember Aya obviously, but we're already using that. Yeah, they've done defense removals and defense ignore quite a few times. Although defense ignore, they've actually only done like 3 times. And a lot of those are quite recent. Okay, let's see here. Alright, there's the art card one. I'm already using that. There's a oh, there's the this one, which you can have multiple of. They actually haven't done defense removal as many times as I thought. It's more that they've done like that one multiple times. You can get it more than once. Yeah, actually there's not as many as I was thinking, but there's always defense ignore as well, which sometimes is better actually, because there are bosses that have defense ups that can't be removed, but they can still be ignored. Now you cannot remove the infected debuff, so there's no point in bringing Atlas, although there might be other debuffs that matter. Oh, Caligula doesn't work, man. Caligula is so hard to use on budget teams. Like, you generally need to do it where it's like you start with Chen Gong and then you like can like switch them back and then like recycle into them. Like, you need such a specific style of team to be able to get like Star Bomb and stuff for Caligula to be able to crit. You can do it, But it can't be we're like, okay, we need to be AoEing with Gray and all these other units and then go into Caligula, right? He does not work that way. A very specific type of stage where it's like possible to be able to give him the stars, and this is not it. I could bring Anniversary Blonde, but Anniversary Blonde is so bad here. That sucks. Like, anything I could do to support him would make the team so much worse. Like, even if I do Star Bomb here, the odds of you getting cards with him, like when Shenggong shows up, are not very good. Man, that blows. I'll do it anyway, though, but yeah, that really makes Caligula bad here. Like, you can absolutely do teams that are able to give him stars, but then you wouldn't be able to deal with all these zombies at the start. Caligula is just not very flexible like that. Talking earlier about how berserkers for low stars don't have good options. Man, 6 waves. Kinda silly that he gets poisoned. Alright, do I just Arash immediately? I actually think Arash is a pretty bad pick here. There's like other low stars that can multi-NP, and like dying isn't actually good yet. Let's do this. Sucks that Gray doesn't have good NP gain options here. Only got 6 off of that. Yeah, I was thinking there were less waves than 6. The boys. I probably should have swapped the order around, though. I have a feeling Arash won't do enough damage here. Unless I buff him. Damn. This one's got the most HP. Okay, well there's Gray getting her NP, no problem. Man, when the doctor shows up, he's not gonna have any infection stacks to get rid of. Okay, I take it back. He will. She can probably kill out the buff. 42k is nothing crazy. I'll do that though, just in case she needs to hit one after. Oh yeah, they buffed her NP, which was rather nice.
Honey to me. Poison
what does that
to
even?
you.
Oh, because I'm poisoned. I see. Look, it's infection. Okay. Okay, it should be plenty. Okay, there's the doctor. Get rid of the debuffs. Okay. There's no way to get our boy to crit here. Guess we take advantage of Gray's anti-undead here, see how it does. Not very good. Yeah, we're gonna have to replace Caligula. He just doesn't work here at all. You're never gonna get him to crit without sacrificing a bunch. I mean, I could maybe change Spartacus to have like some stars per turn, like 2030 or something, and I could bring Anniversary Blonde, but wow. Wow. I had buff success chance, and he missed every buff. He had an 80% chance to get the attack up, and then an 80% chance to get the defense up. And he didn't get either of them. Alrighty, game. Yeah, he just does not work, though. I mean, I could try Anniversary Blonde, maybe. But that's not even enough to, like, really guarantee I'm critting by any means. Nah, this is not gonna work. I need to approach this differently. And like Arash killing himself isn't worth it either. Better, because preferably you don't use Caligula until the boss retreats, honestly. You could also give Caligula his own star bomb. It's just then your damage goes down a lot, and also he may not have cards when he shows up. What does the Calamity Jane one do again? I want to say it's like Star Gen, not crit up. There's the Martha one that gives art up, quick up, buster up or whatever. Actually, no, I think just quick and buster apparently. I gotta look the Calamity Jane one up. I don't remember what it does. I know it's like something related to crits, but I have a feeling it's not crit damage, but we'll see. Where is her CE? It is 20% NP gain up. No, it is 20% crit damage. Interesting. So it'd be 20% crit damage compared to, like what is this, 10% buster up, quick up. This one's level 35 though, which is better, I would say. Does BB not count here? I'm not really surprised by that though, because BB is a like nurse AI, you know, for a computer program, and isn't like how do I put this? Is not a very good nurse. Chat, I'm not convinced she's certified. All right. So if she doesn't count in this quest, I'm not surprised by that. She didn't go to medical school. I'm not sure if she works in this quest or not, though. I don't know. I know Sanson does. I know Nightingale does. I know Asclepius does. I suspect BB doesn't. She lost her license. Yeah, I believe that. All right. This should be fine here. This would be a nice opening hand if Darius did not have his NP yet, and you could do his NP gain buff. So Sanson was going to medical school. He actually was. But he gave it up before he finished because his father got ill and they needed him to take over as executioner to maintain like the family, right, financially. But He was, from what I understand, he was fairly knowledgeable and was fairly far along, but I don't think he ever finished because of that. And he wasn't happy about that, as far as I'm aware. Right, we can't go back in time and know, but he never wanted to be an executioner, and he wanted to be a doctor, but because like the family needed him to support them, right, financially, he didn't really have a choice. So I imagine he wasn't really happy about that. I mean, I don't think BB went to the school in the first place where Sanson did. And Sanson was also known for like giving people medical treatment for free and stuff, like the people, like the poor people and stuff. He was a very strange man, honestly, like what we've got on him. You know, again, you can't go back in time and know exactly, but he didn't really like executing people, but he accepted that it was a necessary thing for like society and everything, but he didn't like it, but he did it. And he needed to support his family, and he wanted to help people and heal people. But again, it's not like he was completely against the role of an executioner, because he knew it was like necessary, but he didn't like it at all. So he was a very strange guy, and like he was a rare figure during that time period because he was the head executioner. He was around the nobles and stuff, and so he knew like the nobility and whatnot. But he hung out with the common folk a lot, right? And would give the medical treatment for free and stuff like that a lot. So he was like among the commoners a lot. So he, during the whole French Revolution and all that, seemed pretty awkward for him because, you know, obviously he executed the nobility, so, you know, he did his job, but, you know, he knew a lot of them. So yeah, it's very strange. The wiki says Sanson, Asclepius, oh, Hohenheim, oh god, and Nightingale. Yeah, so it sounds like no BB. Sometimes the wiki is wrong though. Like hell, I've even corrected the wiki a few times when they've had a few things off. But so yeah, it's possible that they just missed it. But they probably used the data mine, so it's probably accurate. I don't know why I bothered to do NP gain up here. I'm not gonna be attacked this turn. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Hohenheim being on there. Like, dude, how many people actually know like what he does in Fate Prototype Blue Fragment? Because I've seen people like, oh, he seems nice, right? But like, holy shit, he is a piece of trash. Like, he is not a good person, dude. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people either be like, you know, he seems cool or he seems nice, or just defending him like, oh, he can't be that bad. It's like, no, he can. He's pretty bad. I kind of hope it gets an anime, because I think that will change some people's perspective on him. Unless they, you know, retcon it or downplay it or, you know, whatever they do. Guess we'll find out. Damn, this hand would be so much better next turn. Because Darius can actually make some stars. See how that does, though. It seems like a nice fella. Chat, what would you rather have? Because some of you probably don't know that much of the difference, but we'll see. But what would you rather have off of what you do know? And we're assuming this metaphorical anime, right, is good, right? This potential anime would be really well done, okay? What would you rather have? A Fate Prototype Blue Silver Fragments anime or a Fate Prototype anime? Right, which one would you rather have? I would want just vanilla Prototype. Now, I like Blue Fragments, right? Wow, a lot of people just going with Prototype. I'm going to credit Proto Kill for that one. Wow, that's overwhelmingly just regular Prototype. I was expect. Okay, we got a Blue Fragments in there. Eli with the one Blue Fragments flag, waving it around, fighting the good fight. Not afraid to go against the grain. But I think you are the only one here right now. I like how some people said like other like Fate Lost and stuff. Actually, I want Fate Lost to get an anime too, so it probably will. It seems to be well received so far. Arash is in fragments. That is true. All right, let's see here. She can do better damage this time. So that's nice. I can even give her the Buster buff here. Not that one. I meant this one. So he's got a defense up. I have no way of removing that, unfortunately. I really should have given someone a command code. All right, Gray, what you got? You know what? This song needs to be louder. Better. Ouch. Okay, now he's got more defense buffs, and I still have no ways of removing them. Why do I just never take my own? I know what this fight is, and I just don't set up the defense removal stuff properly. Like, Jesus. So that's probably lowering our damage by like 30 or 40% right now. If not more. Like, that's just devastating us here. Bro. Like, holy fuck, I should have brought either Darius or Gray needs to have defense removal or defense ignore. Dude, this is so bad. Like, I could probably still win, but like, that's not how I want Caligula to be used at all here. That's like the whole fight, though, is the fact that this boss has an outrageous amount of defense. That's like the entire fucking thing. At this point, I should just bring fucking Shiki and just have her in P, and it would probably be better than all this nonsense. I do like the fragment cast. I do. I mean, Jekyll and Hyde is like so high on my list. You got Arthur either way, right? That's awesome. And like Brunhilde is pretty interesting, and Hohenheim and all that. But man, fucking regular prototype has Protoku, which I don't think I need to say anymore. And then Gilgamesh, right? Perseus. So, yeah, it's definitely a regular prototype for me. But I can see why someone would like a fragments for him. Yeah, you could do Lubu. He's got armor ignore as well. It's true. It does have Protoku's master. But at least she fucking dies. So, I swear they're going to retcon some of that, though. But I guess we'll... Well, probably not that, though. I don't... You'd really have to change the story to have her not die. But I would think they would retcon her to be less. So I'll give some credit to the writer of Blue Fragments. So obviously Prototype was made first, even though it's not a completed work. But like the outline of it is there. And the writer of Blue Fragments is not Nasu, right? But so Nasu established that Protoku's master is an idiot, has massive trust issues, and is sexist, right? And it establishes all that pretty clearly. And so the writer of Blue Fragments is like, okay, how the hell am I going to explain this? And they did about as good of a job as you can, right? And long story short, it's Hohenheim's fault. Oh yeah, and she also really hates servants, generally speaking, right? So, and she acts like irrationally, right? Like her like fear of betrayal and everything is like so extreme, it's like irrational. But they did a pretty good job of giving her a reason to be that, you know, dumb in the head. So they did as good as you could, I would say. But yeah, it's Hohenheim's fault, long story short. I think she had to join the Grail War. I think she's like cursed, if I remember correctly. I don't think she really has a choice. Also, like, if she doesn't get the Grail, she's going to die. Because Hohenheim put a curse on her that is like gonna eat away at her and turn her into a zombie eventually or some crap. So she's like trying to prevent that. Hohenheim really fucks her up on quite a few levels. Yeah, long story short, he acts all nice and like super befriends her when she's a kid, like, you know, a little girl, and acts like all loyal, friendly servant. And then he curses her and makes sure, I think her dad knows it, that she's gonna have a miserable life, then kills her father in front of her, etc, etc, right? Real stand-up guy, Hohenheim. Also, he like turns Jekyll and Hyde's master into a zombie. That's a thing. I am trying to find this CE and or command code, and I just can't. I don't understand. I can't even find the one that I already have equipped, and I should have 2 of it. What is happening? Oh, there it is. For some reason, my brain was registering this as the art one. I mean, in her defense, she's like 5 or something in prototype fragment, right? Like, I don't know, maybe 6 or something. I don't know, but she is really young. So, yeah, most people are dumb as shit when they're that age. Like, she has a sympathetic motivation, but she just swings so hard. Like, if she had, you know, trust issues, but not to the point where she's that dumb, that'd be fine, right? If she wasn't like a fucking sexist because of it, that'd be fine. It'd be one thing to be wary, right? And that kind of thing. But she's like a really bad person, right? Like swinging in the other direction, right? So that makes her very unlikable. She's probably my least favorite master. I don't know about that, man. There's some piece of shit masters out there, and also just kind of boring characters too. The real sin. Man, I cannot find anything in this fucking UI, dude. It's like you're just swimming in pictures that mean nothing. Let me give Gray like something here. There's another armor ignore one. This does take a long time still. Yeah. Did not make it that much better, but they did make it better. Okay, there's another one that's like a blue magic sword stick thing that has armor ignore. That I think is a 4-star, but I'm not sure. It's kind of like this one, but blue. There it is. Dude, I feel like my playlist is looping so hard today, like no matter what I do. So chat, I remember I didn't really keep tabs on this, but YouTube was trying so hard to battle the ad blocker extensions and stuff out there for the different browsers. Like they were trying so hard. They were like really coming down hard on it. Did that ever stop? Did that and who did I kind of suspect the ad blockers won anyway. But yeah, what was the latest? Are they still going ham on that? Like what's the status report on that whole situation? They're still fighting to the bitter end, huh? But I'm guessing the ad blocks are still winning, but like YouTube is still trying. Never enough. I use Firefox too, generally. I've always been fine with that browser. They blocked me after watching 2 videos. Here's the thing, and I think a lot of people are in this boat, and tell me if you feel differently, chat. But I think the whole problem with the ads situation is because YouTube tries to shove too many ads down your throat. If you only had to watch one ad, right, every few videos, I don't think anyone would care at all, and I think people would be happy to play ball. The problem is when you don't have ad block, they try to just shove 80 ads down your throat, like just constant, just so fucking many, right? And to be fair though, part of the problem is ad block, because I remember YouTube way back in the day, when ad blocks weren't so common. there weren't as many ads. The reason there's so many ads now is because of ad block. It's because they're basically doing what FGO is doing. They're like, okay, we're not getting ad revenue from like 90% of our viewers, but the 10% that we're getting it from, we need to get as much from as possible, right? So the few people that see ads, they want to see a billion ads, but it's a, you know, Ouroboros situation, right? You know, snake eating its own tail. Because the ads are so ridiculous and there's so many of them and so often, of course people are going to use ad block. And because people are using ad blocks, the advertisers are like, well, we have to get as many ads and the few people that are seeing them as possible, right? They really need to have a compromise here. Because, you know, I'm obviously on like the consumer side of this, but from our own perspective, you have to understand, right, that if there's no ad revenue, no one's going to make videos. Right? So if you want the videos you enjoy watching, you know, be it on any platform, YouTube or otherwise, there has to be money made somewhere, right? So ads are necessary to an extent, but yeah, they took it way too far. And I get it, it's so annoying, right? You're going to use ad block or something, right? And they're like, well, then buy YouTube Premium, but like YouTube Premium isn't enough value and it's too expensive. I bet you if YouTube Premium was really cheap, right, a lot more people would buy it. Like way more people would buy it, and that would be better for them than everyone using ad block. But now it's like a culture thing. Everyone's they kind of put this on themselves though. They made ads so insufferable and so frequent that they made it normal to use ad block. Right now everyone's used to it. Because I remember when I was young and the internet was newer and everything, it wasn't normal to have ad block. Well, it wasn't even on people's minds, right? And there wasn't a lot of ad blocks out there and the technology wasn't very advanced, but they made everyone used to it now. So it's like Pandora's box, you know, once the knowledge is out and it's normalized and everyone's using it, then there's not much you're going to be able to do about it. I would love to be able to save Darius's NP for the boss. That would make my life a lot easier. Also, she doesn't actually have her NP without using her battery this time. But I think I'll just have to put up with it. It's either that or I do this the old-fashioned way, but I think they have too much HP for that. Oh yeah, and that's a really good point. A lot of ads weren't malicious back then. YouTube has really been irresponsible. Like, honestly irresponsible. There are lots of ads on YouTube that if you click them and go to their websites and stuff, it can lead to, you know, them like trying to fish for your information or just straight up viruses and things like that. There's so much such stuff that they allow on there. I guess it's because they're trying to get as much money as possible. Because they're, you know, the other ads aren't worth as much. But yeah, it's the whole situation's pretty toxic, and I mean something's gonna have to give at some point. Glad I'm retiring so I don't have to deal with it, because the whole content creator meta and environment is honestly horrible. I mean, it's toxic as fuck, and you pretty much have to work unhealthy hours to be able to keep up with it and that kind of thing, and it's just it's not worth it. I'm so glad to be not having to worry about any of that. Okay, well, I don't need to buff at least. I might as well do the heal here. By the way, chat, this is still the best version of this song. Out of the many versions we've got now, like with, I mean, even FGO's got, you know, some versions of it. This is still the best one. Dean Stay Night has a absolute top tier soundtrack. I'd give it like pretty much 10 out of 10. I mean, it sets out to do exactly what it needs to, right? It fits the series and everything perfectly, so. The Muramasa one is pretty good, like, no joke. Like, I'm not even like a big Weeb fan, but it is done pretty well. Okay, Darius. I like how I just equipped a bunch of defense removal command codes. And I have a Brave Chain with Darius, and I still don't have a defense removal command code here. I think I have every single defense removal and ignore. I'm actually, there might be like a defense ignore one I'm not using. I think there is, but I have so many removal and ignore command codes, and I have none of them. What a joke. 70% chance to crit, though. Only did 23k because of this thing. We just cannot get a break here, dude. Okay, we now have a removal one and a ignore one. Could do the Buster Chain. He has crit chance, though. This command code makes this card hit harder, but this one has a crit chance, and it hits harder. I guess that's better then, though, because it's a Buster card anyway. Oh, and it crit. Although, if I had removed one of the buffs, it'd be better for future cards. Okay, that was... I should have done the removal then. Oh, Sanson just healed us there. That was helpful. Got rid of a infection stack. You get 7 stacks and you die. Yep, I messed up. The 3 stacks is gonna take our damage to a crawl here. Wow, he hits pretty hard. Although, I feel incredibly unlucky with these deck shuffles. Like, the amount of anti-defense we're getting is just pathetic. This is just not working, though. It's just way too slow. Like, someone has to live that has AoE. That is just so bad, him showing up like that. Just completely whiffs his... Like, I could probably win. I just don't care. Like, I don't want to win like that. It's just so garbage, dude. I cannot believe it is taking that many turns to kill that guy, though. It's crazy. But, I mean, there's no NP, and Gray's not counterclassing, and we're just not getting the anti-defense stuff, so... I guess you could use the Mystic Code there, but I don't like that. Ace with the music. There's just no winning with this setup, dude. I think I just need to change the setup entirely, but I'm stubborn. What you need is to have a fucking NP for the boss, which you could do with a Raj. But then you would lose Jin Gong. But like, oh my god, it is taking so long to just do like 100k or whatever. I don't think it's 200k, but still. Caligula is so not gonna work here, dude. Because you have now at the end you have to fight this boss way longer. I need to just scrap this team. This is a fool's errand here. Like, I love Caligula, but on a like you would need a non-budget team or to do like the whole cycle thing where you go around the wheel. And that would take forever. I think Gray's fine. I mean, she really isn't though. I mean, the anti-undead thing doesn't really matter. Like, she's doing so badly. But she's not counterclassing. She does get around the defense buffs. Like, you need buff removal or something. Alex wouldn't be terrible if he could clear a wave. Like, if he clears a wave, like wave 1, and then can just CC the boss and stuff, that'd be pretty good. Because not only does he remove the defense buff, but you stop the boss from doing infection for a minute. I'm not sure he would kill a wave, though. He's straight neutral. It's really hard to do the AoE stuff and then have a unit that can do anything to the boss. I mean, Darius is okay. Oh, I really wish FGO would add, like, we don't need all of this crap. All of this crap is useless. And I really wish they would just add the classes and the rarity. And like, you know, they're like, oh, we just put it in here. It's so fucking clunky, dude. Like, man, if you could just click the rarity, like, right, without having to go through a loading screen, without having to bring up a menu, if you could just click the class and the rarity and have it automatically filter, you could pick the units you want so much faster. Problem with Spartacus is, once you NP the one time, he does almost nothing here. I could try Caligula at the end here if I set it up where he's gonna be at the very end. I just don't see that working unless you get really lucky. Like, coup would be better. But, I mean, that's kind of a cop-out here. Maybe she shouldn't have that. That's not that useful. I've got his passive, right? Yes. So he's at 80, so he can NP right away. So for my Grand Blue fans out there, what is Tiamat in like the Grand Blue universe? Like, is she one of those primals, or is she astral, or what? Like, what's her shtick over there in that universe? Wonder if I should do it that way. I don't think so. No, I guess that's fine. It doesn't matter. Makes no difference. So she's just a primal? I'm kind of surprised because they don't seem very high on the totem pole. Kind of surprised they would use, you know, Tiamat of all things for kind of such a mid power thing. God, Caligula just, you cannot, he does, in no world does he work as a cleanup unit. He is so reliant on having a team built around him to give him the crits and stuff. And he just does no fucking damage if you don't do that. There's just nothing on like a low star that's going to do well against an Avenger. Like the Berserker options are just so bad. And like coup would work, but again, that's like cheating. Probably someone that has anti-Avenger as a passive, that might be okay. Like, there's no Berserker in the entire game that can work this way. Like they need to be like sitting there with like Qingong already next to them and things like that. And they need CEs and all that. But Mori's horrible. Mori is so bad, dude. Mori is like the most team-reliant berserker I think that has ever existed. I mean that. I actually think Mori is the most team-reliant berserker in the game. Let me think, am I forgetting anybody? I mean, Jekyll and Hyde in that he's so bad, he needs the team to actually win instead of... because he's not going to do it. But that's different. Like, unironically, like, this is a great unit for what I need, but I don't want to do that here. Like, Caligula can work, but you'd have to, like, reset until you got lucky, right? Like, it's just so likely that this won't work. Like, things need to line up. They just need to get very, very lucky. Funnily enough, you could use Jekyll and Hyde here to some extent. I tell you what, if you transformed into Hyde and it cleared your infection stacks, he would be pretty solid here. He does not do that. I mean, I've never tested it, but there's no way it does that. That would be super cool, though. It is so dumb, though, that Ku is the best option here. And by the way, this happens all the time because low stars are just lacking a proper unit for so many classes and stuff. Like, this is so shit, dude. I hate this. Like, I know how bad this is. But anything else is going to be a high star, or I'd have to, like, make a stall team where you, because if you want to support a unit like Mori or Caligula, you need them to be in the team sooner, and you need to have, like, the rest of the team before them, and you need to go, like, way slower. Which is bad here because of the infection stacks, so... I just can't think of anything else that would, like, have any damage here, other than, like, Ku and stuff like that, but... like, the damage will be so bad. I mean, Ushi's actually not that bad, honestly. Honestly, I think I go Mori. I actually think Mori's better than Caligula, just because if Caligula doesn't crit, you have nothing. And, like, Mori at least has Star Absorb, so... oh my god. This is gonna drive me insane, I can tell. It's already so stupid that this is a thing. Like, what were they thinking, dude? Absolutely nuts. And you know they were aware of this and, like, did this on purpose because there's an error message for it. But it's not like a bug where they, like, didn't think about it. Now, I'd love it if they'd add an attack up to Jekyll and Hyde's NP. That would really help. Because it just gives him Buster up, and he only has 2 Buster cards, right? Like, are you kidding me? I love how I can't move this command code because wow, I can't even do it from this menu. Because I can't tell which one's on Caligula or not. Like, I know one of them's on Darius, but I think the other one might be on Gray. And it's impossible to check from this menu. No. Actually, you can. It's just the dumbest thing ever. I have to put him on the team. This is so stupid. Dude, FGO is just such a piece of shit. Like, I'm not gonna swap around the team and then swap back so I can see who the fuck has what command code equipped. I'm just guessing. I could have checked rarity. If it's a 2-star, that would have been it. I think that was on Caligula. I think we got it. Doesn't really even matter what's on this card. Can't imagine this making a difference, but it is best on a quick card in terms of like funny enough, this command code gets better and better the weaker the card and the weaker the unit. Like if you're a level 1 Sanson, that command code is so good. Because an 1,000 damage on a level 1 is actually a lot. I do love the fact, though, that Jekyll and Hyde has an 80% battery, which is insane. That's so insane. And he's still terrible, and that was a bad buff for him. He's probably the only unit in the game that an 80% battery is bad. Now, it wouldn't be as bad if it was... And it's pretty bad no matter what skill it's on, just due to the way he works, because when you cast the Jekyll version, right, you have to use the worst version. But they put it on the crit buff, which is really important. But like the attack buff whiffing would be bad too. And the stun whiffing would be bad too. But the stun is maybe the best one to put it on. I don't know. Well, it's not a nerf because you can just ignore it. It'd be a nerf if you had to use it, right? Now, it's idiot bait, I always say, right? It can trick you into doing something that makes him weaker, right? So, and you could kind of see that as a nerf, but it's more of like a trap. Right, it's a trap, not so much a nerf. He didn't get any weaker because, again, you can just not use it. But now you basically have to either battery and lose the crit skill, or just use the crit skill and not have the battery. Which then it's like, well, then why did, like, what the hell is this for, right? So it's not great. It is definitely the worst buff in the game. And what I really don't like about it is it's just so blatant. Anyone that understands their own game and plays their own game and is like putting effort into this kind of stuff would have known that. The only people I saw defending that buff were people that blatantly knew nothing about Jekyll and Hyde. Every single person that's just like a gameplay aficionado or a Jekyll and Hyde fan, right? Every single one of them was like, yeah, this buff is stupid, right? Like, are you kidding me? Of course this doesn't work on this unit. So it just shows that the devs like don't know their own game very well. Which is not surprising. Old games like this, it happens all the time. Yeah, I truly thought that Kiyohime would hold the title as worst buff ever, forever, right? I didn't think they could ever top that. Because that was pretty hard to top, but they found a way. They pulled a miracle off. Her quick cards in P-Gain is not that great, I've noticed. Probably because she has a battery and quick up. That's true. The Chloe buff was pretty bad as well. That is a fair point. However, that wasn't a unit that really needed a buff, but it is true that the buff itself is incredibly weak. Although, that's really hard to compare because it's like, if you use Ilya, it's obviously better than 6% defense up. And burn, right? Like his burn almost never does anything. But there's not much reason to use Ilya with Chloe. Now, I try to remember, does that buff work on the other Ilyas, like the Alter Ego and what is it? I guess, is there another one? I don't even remember. But if it works, yes. Okay, I guess it helps a little bit. Oh, still, why would you use an alter ego with a single target archer, right? Like, what the hell? It's so random. Oh yeah, and Summer Ilya, right? That's okay. No, that one kind of matters because that's an archer, right? So now you're archer. I would say that's enough to make it better than the Kiyohime one, but also that happened later, right? That didn't happen when the buff dropped. But I would say that is enough there to make it a little bit better. Because, I mean, 6% defense on a Berserker, are you kidding me? Like, that is just not going to make a difference. Like, you basically have to use the defense up, get hit a few times, and have Kiyohime live with 2 HP for it to have actually bought you a turn, right? Which has probably happened at least once, but, yeah, that's really bad, though. let's see. Which one of these NPs do I value more? So he's counterclassing. She has the anti-undead. He's probably not going to have cards next turn. No, the whole deck shuffles next turn. There's no way for me to know. Wait a minute. Because of Arash, it doesn't, I don't think. Does it? When did I? Wait, no, he NP'd turn 1, didn't he? I don't know. Well, I'm gonna go with Darius. But yeah, I'm kind of just guessing here. Archer Ilya's only chance buff is the 500 heal though. That's the thing is that's still better than Kiyohime's. 500 HP for 5 turns. Now sometimes because obviously you might have landed it without, but that's still better than 6% on a Berserker. I mean, like, holy shit, that's so bad. I mean, there's the burn, but you know, doing burn teams is a meme. It's not actually practical, and especially with Kiyohime. That was really unfortunate that he's the one that got that. Well, Darius did indeed get the stuff. He also got none of the anti, no one, how does this happen so much? I think we have like 4 anti-defense things, and I just never get them. This song is way too good, by the way. Why is this the file select music for a Kirby game? Man, she got 100% crit too, but we get the extra attack. The thing is, it's not just a lullaby, it's got like that hint of depression in it. Just ever so slightly. So, I've not looked into this. I have no idea. I'm just guessing. But through having played his works, I have a feeling the creator of Kirby has... How do I put this? He got problems. Not necessarily. I don't mean that as in he's a murderer or anything like that, right? But it's like you just look at the series and there's just like this kind of undertone of like depression and just like, you know, you got like 0-2 as a boss, for God's sakes, right? And I've just noticed that in a lot of the Kirby games and stuff, there's just kind of this undertone of kind of hidden trauma or something, right? Who got no problems? I mean, true. We're about to die to the infection here, and this is not going very good. I like how just no matter what I do with this setup, it just doesn't fucking work. And we just never get our defense removal command code. Like, I always have to wait like 3 turns to get it. Okay, at least we got lucky crits there. That was nice. Dude, he died in 2 turns here. That is fucking ridiculous. How do I still... Although I guess Darius had the defense removal and he died. I have defense ignore though. I don't think we're gonna kill here because only the Buster card is gonna do good damage. Because he has 3 fucking defense buffs. If I crit, we'll probably get it, but 30% chance. Oh, extra attacks got my back. Now, chat, you gotta understand, we just did a combo, right, that had every card color in it, right? We had all of them, and we had the chance of critting, but we didn't crit, right? And we were really pushing it on damage there, right? We barely broke it. So it's a good thing, chat, that we had a craft essence that benefited every single action we did there, even the elusive extra attack, which you almost never are able to boost, right? And if every one of our cards there did less damage, we probably wouldn't have broken, right? We barely got it. But thankfully, chat, thankfully, we had a champion craft essence that made that quick attack do more damage. And then it made that art attack do more damage. And it made the Buster attack do more damage. Hardly anything does that. And it made the extra attack do more damage. And if any of those things had crit, that also would have been boosted. And you know, chat, you know what doesn't do that? You know what CE
not that guy,
won't
pal. Trust
boost
me.
your crits?
You're not that guy.
You know anything, I don't know which one in particular, but any craft essence that has
Scum.
damage plus on it, chat, flat damage, that won't make your crits any better, right? It'll do the same thing if you crit or not, where the Chad Golden Sumo will do even better when you crit. So, you know, it's pretty good. You know, those lesser than flat damage command or CEs, you know, that's nothing. Shut the fuck up, Ace. God damn it. I knew that was gonna happen someday. Shut your whore mouth. Look, we became a greater ninja. Thank you. Okay? We rose above. I roll, dude. Cairo really needs to add that. That emote really is amazing. It is so anti-streamer, though. You're never going to see that used for anything other than that, but it is amazing. Chat, should we play Ninja Gaiden today? It's either Ninja Gaiden or we meme and relink. I've got a meme build and relink I really do want to try. Like, I've been told by Lost that the cannons in their prototype Bahamut fight get a 1-to-1 damage ratio based on your character's attack stat. Like 1-to-1. So I want to make a setup where it's just the highest attack possible, and you're like the weakest character ever, though. You don't do damage cap, you don't care about survivability, and you just get your ass on a cannon and try to fuck up the boss that way. I'm really curious about that. And I got a few other memes I want to try. So I do want to do that, but, you know, we do have Ninja Gaiden. So I'll leave it up to chat for what they want for the bonus stream there. I was supposed to have to murder a fence today, but the weather is so bad, I'm not doing that today, unfortunately, so. We streaming, boys. All right, we finally got through the first goddamn health bar of the boss. I cannot quite NP with her, although I'm very close to being able to do that. Do I want to try to save Spartacus? If he was grailed more, absolutely, but I guess I'll try it anyway. I don't know, saving that for Gray is pretty good. So this one has got the most HP. I have no Gray NP gain here. Why must you be like this, game? Spartacus, if you could just get a crit here, buddy. Preferably with the Buster card. That's not the Buster card. Okay, well. Only lesser ninjas depend on Golden Sumo. What a joke. You guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're scrubs. Noobs, the lot of you. Well, Asclepius has seen better days. I do kind of resent the fact that I still don't have Gray's NP, but what are you gonna do? Oh, look, this guy has a defense buff as well. Let's see. Chat, I feel like somehow we need a Seath the Scaleless voice thing that people can redeem. I'll have to figure that one out. There's the betrayed line. There's the guy, and I'd have to ask permission, I think, but there's the guy that made that parody video of Dark Souls where they call Seath the bitch. So there's that. I do need to add the all green stuff. There's several voice lines that I could do for that one. There's the Arknights one. There's the Lychee and Blaze Blue. I just have to get off my ass and record it. Okay, we've got our NP. We don't have anti-undead. This one's got 60k. What is with the... Why are these so obsessed with defense buffs in this fucking stage? I need to just change my command codes, dude. Like, I need to actually sit down and focus on bringing anti... defense up, or bring armor ignore NP or something. Like, holy shit, now the trash mobs are doing it. Why are zombies so sturdy? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, there you go. That's a big help. He should only have 2 actions per turn. Maybe even 1. 4K. Why are there more of the... Oh, that's not good. Well... I think I'd do this. Wait, no, I would have gotten my NP anyway. I could have done the chain. I should have attacked one of the higher HP ones. Although he's got so much attack up, maybe not. Look at that overgauge. Boy, I fucked that up. Alright, last 3. So this one she's gonna kill for sure. I think I need a buff here. Sucks to waste it, but these guys living is not a great outcome. See red. You know, I hate to say it now, part of what Ace said is bullshit, okay? Just absolute bullshit. But Ace is correct that bringing a defense ignore craft essence could be really good here. And I kind of forgot that those existed. The other half of what he said is dog shit, though. Propaganda, even. Is it bad that I almost timed out Ace there? The only reason I didn't is because I don't want to time him out that long, and I'm too lazy to do the customized timeout that is like less time. I saw you move your mouse. I'm gonna get wrong. Yeah, the problem is the default timeout is just way too long. It's way too long, right? So then like he actually couldn't talk in chat for a really long time. If I had like an easy way to do like a 30-second one, I would have, but I was too lazy to type it out. And also, I'm not even 100% sure I remember what the format is. Like I know it's slash timeout and then the time, but I don't know if you like just do slash 30 or what. Like I don't actually remember. So I was like, fuck it, he gets to live. I guess I could have just done slash on timeout later, but that's then they see that, right? You can't have the rabble see that. I actually accidentally banned was it Kiba once? Like I misclicked something, because dude, if you're in mod view or whatever, it is so easy to ban somebody. Like it is stupid fucking easy to accidentally ban somebody. And then also if you don't like lock the chat, someone can say something and like it'll scroll up and then you hit the wrong guy or whatever. It's messed up. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I accidentally banned Kiba once. Now, somebody needs to die at some point here. Who do we heal? I mean, technically Spartacus can do some damage. He's got guts. If he gets hit, he'll have his NP. But is there really any point in saving Asclepius? I mean, if he lives 3 turns, sure, but he's probably not. You probably just heal her and whiff a lot of the heal and just roll with it. Do I rainbow chain Spartacus? Probably. There actually was a time that I banned a guy on accident. I meant to ban like someone that was spamming or some shit. And I banned the wrong person and I didn't notice at the time. And I don't think anyone in chat did either. And then I was going and looking at who got like I checked like my ban requests and who's been banned, and I was like, wait a minute, that was the wrong person. And I was just like, whoops. Well, I unbanned them and I sent them a message, but I don't think they ever came back, which, I mean, fair enough, but yep, feels bad. Wrongly persecuted, chat. I check them occasionally. I don't check them too much if I know no one's been banned, right? Anytime people get banned, though, I generally check them, and I do try to check them from time to time. But I don't ban people very often, right? Like, generally, I'll just tell someone to shut the fuck up, but I don't actually ban them. Like, you gotta be pretty special if you get banned here. Although we do ban bots. I probably should check my ban requests more just in case, like, someone got caught in the crossfire of, like, a bot ban. But, like, generally it's fine. Okay, there's a death. I don't think we're gonna win this, to be honest. Like, it's just Mori with no support at all, right? If I had, like, George right here, then it'd be fine. But I do not think this is going to work. Also, Mori is just so bad for this kind of thing because he gives himself defense down. So he gets one shot when he would have gotten like 2 or 3 shot instead. But you like kind of need the damage, so... Yeah, I would be very surprised if this setup worked. Like, I think I just need to fundamentally go back to the drawing board here. Wait, I don't think that I think those 2 CEs I've got may not be defense removal. I think they might be attack removal. I know the art one's both, but the other one... No, the Sakura flat... Wow, of course he dies in 1 turn. Like, he didn't hit gray at all. Like, that's so fucking stupid, dude. He doesn't need the buster up. I love this song, by the way. And once you're down to 1 character, you'll get the infection stack so quickly that you'll die immediately. Wait, what happened to my guts? Did it proc off the dots or something? Wow. That's so lame, dude. Yeah, Mori is just so shit for like being a last man standing. He's just terrible. That sucks though. If we got an NP off, we probably wouldn't have killed it, but would have been close. I don't think there's any good last man standing unit here other than Ku. Like for low star, I don't think there's a single one that exists. Like, there's just no good units for fighting Avengers, and all the Berserkers are trash. It's funny because I was talking about this earlier in the stream, but this is like a perfect example of like the low star Berserkers just don't fucking do their job when you need them to. Like, they're just not good enough. Right? They're not Ushi, right? But a Berserker. They're not Ku, but a Berserker. Like, they're not that at all. I mean, you could do this. This would obviously work, but yeah, unironically, Ku is way better here. Because again, he's single target, so I mean, he'll do plenty of damage. It's not hard for him to do 200k at neutral. But there just isn't a fucking low star, like, other than Ku, that's a good last man standing here. I don't think there's anything. I mean, Ushi would be better than Mori, to be honest. Like, Mori is just so pointless. This sucks, man. I can't think of anything. Like, the only thing I can think of is, like, changing the team to be very, very, very different, and it'd be a lot slower. But I do not want to play that way. Also, I'm pretty sure there are less... Let me look at Atlas DB. Put it over here. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there are less low star Berserkers than like anything. Wow. Like, look at this. And if you do like any other class, right? I mean, this isn't way more. It is more, but Yeah, I mean, they're not behind by that much, but they are noticeably behind. And also, some of these, like, Asterios doesn't count. And I don't mean that as in he's bad. It's just, he doesn't operate like a Berserker. Asterios is Asterios, right? Right, if you're doing rock, paper, scissors, you know, he's a mushroom, right? It's like, he doesn't really count towards, like, a Berserker doing Berserker things. So, yeah, there's not a lot to work with here. Okay, they've got quite a few. That's not surprising, though, because they're support. All right, Saber is technically the least, but, you know, the way the game is with Sabers. Also, some of these are so good, it's not a problem. They do need, maybe some help with the AoE, though. I would say they are a bit lacking in that department. Archer's obviously fine, and there's plenty of them. Yeah, Berserker is definitely the one, because like Mori and Lu Bu are just not very good. I mean, like, well, I wouldn't say that, but they're not good in a lot of circumstances. And like, again, Asterios is Asterios, and the other ones are like bronzes, and like Blood Axis Spartacus or AoE, low damage. Right? I mean, what are you gonna do, Kiyohime, right? Like, there's really no option here. Yeah, it sucks. I really wish they would address that. You try to use Gray later. But man, that boss will kill you quick, like super quick. What you can do is not have a cleanup unit, and then at the end try to protect Gray and have Gray do it. But I don't think that's gonna work for the last health bar. I think it's too big. Fuck it, the most budget thing you can do at this point is Jerker, but the thing is, like, when this advanced quest comes out, she's not in the shop yet. And then, but like, yeah, Jerker is probably your best pick here. Because, she's got some survivability, she's got battery, right? You can melt the health bar very quickly with her. God, Lu Bu is so pointless now that Jerker exists. That's a good point. Because Mori still has some things, like with the armor ignore, the piercing vulnerability, and higher normal card damage if you can set him up, and that kind of thing. But yeah, Lu Bu's got nothing, really. I feel like anything to like really improve this would involve just trial and error and going so fucking slow. This is like a rock in a hard place. Like, I might just do that then, because like I just don't see a fucking answer here. I mean, I think you can do it with all stuff, but oh my god, I'm so sick of not being able to use the shitty new system they added, because you need to go forward. Like, why does that screen exist? It serves zero purpose. Oh my god, now I have to do all this again. You have to have at least some anti-defense up though, or this is just gonna be miserable. I'd probably take one from Gray. I think it's more important that he has armor ignore. I feel like this is a good in-between. Like, obviously Herc is probably the best pick here, but and it's not like Beowulf's OP, but I do feel like I'm compromising here. They don't really say why Lu Bu's like a cyborg or mech or whatever. They don't really go into it as far as I'm aware. They've done that with a lot of Chinese stuff, though. I don't get it. I really don't. Probably should stop using Arash, actually. Because then you can have an extra unit. So you should use just some other AoE unit that can clear here. Yeah, I guess it was a way to make him act all brainless or something. I don't know. Yeah, Darius is a big boy, and if he ever got an animation update, he'd probably be bigger. Sadly, he's not likely to get an animation update. I think this is a Succubus Queen theme, which is kind of weird. It doesn't sound like that at all, but for Mabinogi. Yeah, it is. Wonder if it's better for Gray to NP here because you make more stars because you hit more enemies. But you don't really need to make stars on this turn, I suppose. Well, Greek servants aren't space mechs. Greek gods are space mechs. And then some Greeks, you know, have mecha stuff, but only some of them do. Like, you know, the Trojan horse is the horse. I don't know why I said it like that, but the Trojan horse is, you know, a mecha and stuff like that. And then there's no Korean stuff, and there probably never will be. Although you never know in future if people might calm the hell down. I mean, we'll see. I guess this time I Gray NP because she's gonna have the cards more likely. Actually, I think Spartacus is gonna have the cards. There's really no winning here. I'd have to use her battery. I guess Darius NPs again then just to save the battery. South America might get some servants. I mean, don't they have like one? Yeah, there's 0 Korean stuff. And again, that's very unlikely to change. What annoys me though is it'd be such a vocal minority of people that would be upset if they added a Korean character. It'd be a larger vocal minority if they added a Korean character and they like did it in a, you know, disrespectful way. But if they did a good job, it'd be such a vocal minority of twats. But it is what it is. There's a lot of regions that get scuffed, not because of like drama or any of that, just because of them not caring. Which is is that better or worse? I don't even know, right? It's like a lot of the regions don't get servants simply because they don't give a fuck. Like they don't think it's like worth their time, right? I don't know if that's better or worse than them not getting servants because of like drama and like fearing pushback and that kind of thing. The good thing about if it's not drama and stuff is that they might get added later, right? Whereas like Korean stuff, they're not getting added later, right? Like that's dystopian. Okay, she does solid damage there at least. Okay, she's almost dead because of infection, so that's not ideal. 0 anti-defense stuff, although I got rid of one of her defense things, so. Oh, nice. Better in terms of speed and whatnot, worse in terms of Gray getting the debuffs, though. You know, he's ugly. I don't think his mother even loves him, dude. Like, holy shit. That is a face. Like, even Cthulhu is like, whoa. Not one of mine. You know it's true, chat. Just speaking facts out here. Look, chat, you wouldn't order a plushie of that guy if it existed, alright? Man, we get good luck on the prior wave, but now this wave's going pretty bad. And Gray's kind of going nowhere here. We're gonna get decimated here, I think. Too many debuffs. And she's gonna die to the... Well, at least we got rid of one, but not exactly enough. I would love it if one of these lived, so I got to do Gray's attacks after here. I need these two to die and then this one to live. It has an extra defense buff and 3k more HP. Wait, or am I counterclassing that one though? I'm not sure. I've got a fluffy plushie, thankfully. Very Poi got it for me. Good man. Well, I wanted one to live. I didn't want both to live. Crap. As long as I can kill him before he NPs, it's like bearable, but the thing is the other order would have been better because this guy's got more actions per turn, which means more infection. Also, he hits harder and he fucking crit. So a lot went wrong there. He's got 2 defense buffs, but I'm gonna hope he dies anyway. In Minecraft. Or in FGO, right? It's fine. This is a really cool NP, honestly. It's very simple, but it's still cool. Like, obviously welfare things, but they didn't need to animate her at all, but sometimes you can get away with that. Oh crap, it killed all of them. I should have done the quick attack then. That is not the hand that I would have wished to have had. Asclepius in P gain though. Which honestly is not that good. Like, off of 20% of this is from the chain, you know, bonus. And some of that's the extra attack, so like, it could be better. Asclepius removing debuffs for us. Good man. Hopefully this kills. Nope. Well, at least he only gives you 1 stack. But if like he had crit someone, that'd have been pretty devastating. This song makes me want to play Tales of Vesperia. Why did I put the quick card first? That might actually matter too. Nope, no, it's fine. It was close. I could have made an extra star though, potentially, if I'd put the quick card later. Hell, if I did Buster Art quick, we might have still gotten our NP. And make way more stars then. Okay, well this is way better than last time. I think I wait 1 turn on Gray's NP, so hopefully she doesn't die here. I can heal her. However, if I do the art card, I can Rainbow Chain Darius. And he's got double NP gain up. I mean, he might get it off his quick card anyway, but how much do I value 1k HP? A good amount. This boss hits hard. should have put the Buster card first, though. I mean, I guess the crit chances are... Oh my god. Well, the 1k saved us, so it's a good thing I did that. Unfortunately, Darius did not get his NP. I could give her guts, but I don't think it's worth it. Yeet one of the defense buffs, so the NP does more damage. Man, I think we might still lose. We'll see. We're really struggling to clean this guy up. I'm gonna have to make a video for this when it comes out on NA. It's gonna be annoying. Don't you fucking proc guts, you animal. Got 2 defense buffs. Need to do 100k here. He's mad you called him ugly. Mad at the truth then, huh? Ooh. Got it at least. If he procs Beowulf's guts here, we definitely lose. I should have brought debuff clear. Of course he crits me on his last action. Well, I think we're dead. I don't there because now the dot will kill me. The only way we're not dead here is if we one-shot him. Don't fail the 80%. He failed the 80%. And he killed anyway. What an absolute legend. Why did you fail that 80% though? God damn it, dude. That was fucked. God, that was fucked. Ugh. So, Jerker would have had the one-hit evade for the one time we got attacked there and would not have lost all of her health. So that could have potentially been better. It might have been a problem later. Chat, that took so long. Thank goodness, though, I've already done, like, this one. Although, funnily enough, I understand this one really well now, so I don't fear it. And if I ever forget, I have a commentary video on how to do it, so I can explain it to myself. Which I have a feeling I will use that at some point. Like on an ult account. But, you know, what do you have to do? And this one was pretty hard, too, but, you know, we've already done... This one's fun, though. This one's hard but fun. And the Arjuna one is hard as well. It's actually probably harder. And it's still fun-ish, but it's not as fun. And I kind of forget if this one was any good or not. I don't really remember. But like, have I done these ones on the other account yet? I'm not sure. We may have never done these. We'll see. But they're like the last chunk. And they'll probably give me a SQ thingy. So, worth doing. Okay, chat. What do you want for the bonus stream? Mimi relink nonsense? Like making a cannon build and a throw weapon build? Or do you want more Ninja Gaiden where we're on very hard mode and I am going to die a lot? So, whichever one you want here. That's a lot of Ninja Gaiden. I guess people like me suffering. Also, shut up, Ort. Okay, we got a poll, but it looks kind of obvious that Ninja Gaiden's gonna win there. But we will relink at some point, and we'll do the meme stuff. All right, we'll do some Ninja Gaiden. Give me 1 second here to switch some of the stuff over here. I'm happy to play it again. I enjoyed it thoroughly last time, although I swore like a sailor. But that kind of comes with the territory. We'll switch to the in-game music for Ninja Gaiden. Right, we gotta play the Sigma version of the game, unfortunately, but it is what it is. I would love to have Ninja Gaiden Black on PC, but they are probably never going to do that. By the way, chat, right now, Ninja Gaiden Sigma has 1 viewer. So, yeah, really popular game that has lasted the ages. What are you gonna do? Let me see, how many viewers does... Okay, Black has 1 viewer, Sigma has 1 viewer, the Retro Ninja Gaiden has 5, Ninja Gaiden has 2, Ninja Gaiden 2 has 2, Ninja Gaiden 3 has 3, so how about that? Oh, and then Vanilla Ninja Gaiden 2 has 0. So, yep, that's an experience. It doesn't help that there's so many versions of the same game, so it's kind of diluted like that. But yeah, Ninja Gaiden, well, it used to be a really popular game back in the day, but they really fucked up because they let that brand die. It was super popular, and then they made one bad game, and then they just abandoned it for so long that it's not in the public's like consciousness anymore, right? It's not like Devil May Cry or anything like that. You know, it used to be like just as popular, but yeah, now it's pretty dead. And it's so dead that I don't know if they're ever going to resurrect it. Anyway, let me boot this up and reset the stream. So the VODs are separated. I will be back in 2 seconds, chat.